Hello everybody and welcome back to Out of Body. My name is Sabrina. Guys, today's video is very interesting. I actually had a legit sleep paralysis experience recently. It did not turn into an out of body experience, but it was pretty creepy and I wanted to talk to you guys about this. So it has been a long time since I've had a kind of scary sleep paralysis episode. I used to get it a lot when I was a child, and I've talked about that before on this channel, but normally when I get sleep paralysis, I start to feel vibrations all over my body, and then that's when I can actually have an out-of-body experience, so it's actually a good experience. Well, this time, I actually stayed frozen, and I didn't leave my body, I didn't even get the vibration, and I started experiencing some creepy things. So to preface this, I was actually at my fiance's place, and it was late at night. He was actually recovering from surgery, so I was there to kind of take care of him that weekend. So I stayed the night that night. I want to say this happened around 1 a.m. What happened was I woke up and I could not move. I noticed that Justin, my fiance, had gotten up and left the room. I think that's probably what triggered me to wake up, was him getting up, but I could not move, and I started to feel this sort of pressure on me, which I've heard other people talk about that, and some people think that it's like something pushing you down, or maybe an entity sitting on your chest or something like that. I've actually, to my knowledge, I've never actually experienced that. Now, even though I was starting to feel this pressure and I couldn't move, I wasn't scared yet because I kind of thought I was awake, to be honest. Now, what happened next is what's very, very creepy, and is when I started to get a little bit scared. So I'm laying there, I can't move, and then all of a sudden I see my fiance walk in the room. His name's Justin, I'll just say Justin. He walks in the room and quickly leaves the room. And I realized later that that didn't really happen. To my knowledge, I think that was like imaginatory, or that was just a vision, or I don't know. Anyway, I saw him come back in the room and then leave. And then I saw a shadow figure come into the room and walk over to my side and walk around the back of the bed. And I did not see it leave. Now, that is the first time I've actually ever seen a shadow figure during a sleep paralysis episode. That might be the only time I've actually seen a shadow figure, period. Other than, I guess, my last out-of-body experience, I actually did. Now that I remember, I actually did see a shadow figure that looked like a creature. So that could be, that's a connection I just now made. That actually could be a connected entity. Maybe that's following me, I don't know. So I'm laying there scared and I can't move, and I'm waiting for him to come back into the room. At this point, I start to kind of wake up more and more and become more aware of what's going on. And at one point I thought he came back into the room, and then I actually woke up all the way and realized he was not in there yet. And so I stayed awake until he came in there. And then when he came in there, I started to drift off to sleep a little bit. And that's when I went right back into sleep paralysis. See, that used to happen to me a lot as a child. I don't know if that happens to you guys who have sleep paralysis episodes. If you break free from it or you wake up all the way, and then if you try to go back to sleep, if you fall right back into it, because that used to happen to me all the time as a kid. And that's why every time I would get sleep paralysis, once I would eventually wake up, I would have to stay awake for a while. Otherwise, if I went back to sleep, I'd go right back into it. Now, at this point, when he came back into the room and I started to go to sleep, I started to get the kind of pressure feeling, and I realized I couldn't move again. And I started feeling like I said, like this pressure on me and around me. And it almost felt like there was this energy around me that was just kind of engulfing me. And again, it wasn't the vibrations, because I know the difference between, getting the OBE vibrations. It was not any sort of thing like that. No tingling, anything like that. It was literally just like pressure. So if that's not scary enough, the next thing that happens is I look across the room and there's a kind of a dresser with a mirror on top. when I look across the room, in the reflection of that mirror, I see these, I don't know if they were eyes or what, but there were these green lights. So I saw 2 of them for sure, maybe 3. So that was kind of weird. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if those were eyes, I don't know if those were orbs of some kind, but I saw 2 to 3 green lights. This is round lights, kind of staring back at me, seemingly because they were like right in front of me. Well, kind of in front of me, but to the left. So it wasn't like my reflection. It wasn't directly in front of me. It was because the dresser is kind of over here. So I just happened to look over there, and I saw these green lights. Now, if that's not scary enough, the next thing is it just intensifies from here. So after that, I all of a sudden, while I'm feeling the pressure, and I'm seeing these lights, and I'm getting scared, I feel someone grab my wrist. When my fiance came back, he usually has his hand on me somewhere, and so he had his hand like on my arm or something, but that was not what I felt. I felt someone with their fingers like this grab my wrist really hard, like this. I was trying to break free from it, and when I finally broke free, I started to kind of in my mind pray to my guardian angel, and I was praying for protection. Now, after I started praying, I did feel the grip, subside a little bit, and it felt like whatever it was starting to back away. And then it came back, and I heard a voice. Now, the voice was very creepy. It was kind of snarky, higher pitched almost. And it said something, it kind of laughed and said something like, "I got you." And like I said, it was kind of snarky. It wasn't childlike, it wasn't friendly. It was just like, "I got you" kind of thing. And then when it said that, it grabbed me again, the same way it did before. So I felt the 2 fingers around my wrist like this, and it was really, really hard to where I could not break free. And no matter how much I tried, I could not break free this time. And eventually I just tried to make myself wake up all the way, because that's one of the ways you can get out of sleep paralysis, is to try to wake yourself up. So that's what I tried to do. I was just trying to kind of move and wake myself up. And eventually I woke up, but I woke up with a start, because I remember Justin being like, "Oh, you okay?" Because I was just like, or something like that. And then I told him what happened, but needless to say, I had to stay awake for a while after that. I told him, I was like, I gotta stay awake, because otherwise I'll go right back into this nightmare I had. So yeah, you guys, that is what happened. What do you think about that? The only other thing I can compare it to in my own experience is, I talked about it years ago, I think, in a video, but there was one time where, back when I was married before, I got sleep paralysis, and I started to feel, I almost felt something like crawling on me or something, and then I heard a bunch of voices, and one of them stood out, and it was real snarky like this one was, and it was saying stuff about my husband at the time, and like saying stuff about me. I couldn't even remember what it was saying, but it was just like saying nasty things about us. And then I had to make myself wake up again. So it wasn't an out-of-body experience, it was another sleep paralysis. I'd kind of forgotten about that one. I'll have to, if I can find the video, I'll link it down below. But yeah, that one was really creepy. I remember that. So that's the only other experience like this I can really compare it to. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.